All right, as a quick reminder, Zmap is not built in Kali Linux. Actually, it's not built in any of the distribution of Linux systems, so you have to install it. We had a slide to describe how to install Zmap on a Ubuntu or a Debian Linux, and they're close in the way that they deal with these packages. Anyway, we will try Zmap, so we are now in the Zmap directory. I'm going to type Zmap and specify a port with -P. Let's say I'm going to specify 443 and specify the output file. So I'm going to say 443 results.csv. All right, so if I hit enter right now, Zmap will start consuming all the given bandwidths for this virtual machine and will scan the fact that it's scanning all the public IPv4 networks. We can see now the remaining time to scan all the IPv4 networks and the percentage of how much is done. It's still 0%. We can see here sent and received packages or packets. When you see a received packet, it means that it has hit a system with port 443 open. Now, the use of Zmap is not to detect how many IP addresses have 443. If you want that, we can do it, but we will use Zmap to scan for a specific port that we know is vulnerable. Let's say UPnP ports. We want to detect how many public IP addresses have UPnP ports open, most of which will be vulnerable. Okay, now we're going to stop this scan. We probably won't have anything here right now, so I'm going to try VI and 443. There is nothing in the result file yet, but to show you how Zmap can detect the system and what the result files look like, I'm going to do the same scan, but this time I'm going to do it on my local network instead of scanning the public network. And, well, I'm not surprised. I got an error. Zmap by default does not scan private networks. Okay, so there is a blacklist file that blocks the scanning of private and multicasting addresses, etc. So this file is located on the /etc directory, so we need to go to vi/etc/zmap/blacklist.conf, C-O-N-F. Here is a file that blocks all of the networks, so zeros are not going to be scanned. Range 10 Class A network. So we can see here the private use Class B network and Class C network. Just hit I for insert. You don't really need to remove the line, but you just need to comment on the line. Just put the hash and we'll be done for this line completely. And then I'm going to repeat the same scan again. Now I got the warning because I'm scanning, again, a private network, but the scan will proceed. So in a few seconds, there you go, and 100% done. Now, I'm going to VI to port 443, and there you go. I have only one IP address which has port 443 open. Now, simulating this to the public IP for a network, if you are scanning the public network, and I'm scanning for, let's say, for a Trojan malware port or a UPnP port or even 443, I get here a list of IP addresses. And so what this means is it indicates that all of these IP addresses have this specific port open. So if I'm scanning for a Trojan port, it means all these IP addresses are infected by that Trojan. If I'm scanning for a specific service, it means that those IP addresses have this service open. You get the point. So that's how you can try to exploit the IP addresses based on the port. But keep in mind that when using Zmap to scan the public IP network, you will get a lot of reports from around the globe. I'm not joking, it's true. You could be reported as abuse by people who see the scan on their firewall, and you really don't want to comment on the blacklist, because if you do so, you will be scanning a lot of dangerous IP addresses. So my point is this: just stay away from the governmental ranges, that is IP addresses related to the government, corporations, military, etc. Just stay out of harm's way.
As the first step of network scanning, we have identified the running hosts on a network. Our next step consists of finding what ports are open on these hosts and which services they are running. After doing so, we can start drawing a network map and plan the attack accordingly.
In real scenarios, consider the usage of different techniques when scanning networks. Ping sweep may overwhelm the network and will be blocked by firewalls most of the time. Some other techniques are considered lighter and stealthier and can be used instead. These techniques will be discussed in port scanning coming up.